Good morning, good evening, good night. I have no idea what time it is right now. So I was trying to get some sleep before the Rise of the Resistance opening, and that didn't really work out too well because I'm wide awake-ish. I'm like drowsy, but I'm wide awake. I think it's like part of the excitement, part of like my insomnia kicking in, and me also not wanting to oversleep so that we can get there in time. We are aiming for a 3 a.m. arrival time, and we're not at a hotel nearby or anything, so we're home. So I mean, we're not too far away, so that shouldn't be hard to do. I know different park, different time, but just a few months ago we went to opening day of Hagrid's, and we thought getting there at 6 a.m. was going to be like, okay, we'll be there in and out, we'll get to the front of the line. Like, we got in, we were getting to the line, and then it like stopped at Seuss Land, and we're just like, okay, like we stayed there for like 2 hours, and we were in line for a total of 7 hours. So we're trying to avoid that. I know, different park, this is Hollywood Studios, not Universal Studios, but we're trying to avoid that, like spending the whole day in line. So we shall see how that goes, and we don't even know if it's going to be open. Like seriously, like it's kind of like a good thing and a bad thing that like Disney doesn't officially say, oh, okay, if you want to come, get in line at this specific time, because then everybody would, you know, and their moms would get there. So I think it's a good thing to sort of keep a little bit of mystery to like arrival time, so that, you know, the masses aren't arriving at a specific time. But it's also a little confusing for the rest of us who are trying to get there and who don't mind waiting. Like, we just want to park our cars and just get in line. Like, we know we're gonna be there for a while. Like, the other thing is that it's cold. Like, I've never done a opening day getting in line sort of thing when it's cold. So throwing in that little bit of like the elements in there, that's going to be, like, for me, cold is way worse than the heat. Heat, bring it on. Humidity, bring it on. Rain, bring it on. But the cold, like, that might be the end for me. That might be like me tapping out and being like, no, next time I'll just have to wait until, you know, the craziness sort of dies down over the ride. So it's always, I don't know, I just like going to opening days. Like, just to be able to tell my grandkids one day, like, I was there opening day. I'm gonna go ahead and stop scaring you guys and put on my face, take a shower, all the above, not in that order, but you know what I'm saying. Little tired right now, and then I'm gonna go attempt to wake up the hubby and get on the road. Gonna get some coffee though. So once you get in your boarding group, you can go check out some merchandise. This is the annual pass holder stuff. There's a adult tee. There is the Magic Band. And then other Magic Band, hats, shirts. I'm curious to see that vehicle toy. $75? Wow. And then a bunch of pins, or 2 pins actually, and a tumbler. And they all say Rise of the Resistance.
They're all up on the wall so you can see which one. And then it makes some really cool sound effects, it lights up, and of course since this is your escape pod, it can escape me.
Very cool. Always gotta check myself in the mirror after a roller coaster because girl gonna lose her eyelashes. Okay, we are inside Galaxy's Edge now. We just got our FastPasses. However, the ride is down.
Smoothie.
Smoothie?
Fresh fruit. That's overnight oats, which is fruity oatmeal with boba. That's a cinnamon roll. And this is the platter that has the cheese egg tart, the purple potato hash, sausages, and a mini cinnamon roll. That's a mook juice, which is a menagerie of fruit juices including chipotle pineapple.
We can take the next one right over here.
BB-8, is everyone assembled? Good. Shouldn't you be in flight prep? Recruits, thank you for joining the cause.
Black Leader, we're picking up an unusual signal. Are you spotting anything?
Yeah, I see it. We'll check it out. BB-8, what do you got?
There appears...
Are already off to a rocky start. Alright, for interrogation, we will be breaking you into smaller groups. Those groups will be represented by the color units on the ground here. We have the red group, the blue group. That is where I'm going to take my first group. How many in your crew? 6. I will have 4 on the red and 2 on the blue. I promise you will still be able to hear each other's screams.
You're lucky it didn't spot you. Take those turbo lifts and stay out of trouble.
Hey, you're not authorized. Wait, it wasn't a prisoner. Immigration, attention block 3. Scene of Level G. There they are. Fire. Recover, recruit. If anyone's cracking a blaster, now's a good time. The escape pod's just below us! Why are you going up? I said down! Up is bad! Up is real bad!
Shields. I see no evidence.
Now! All personnel to their stations!
Sir, the prisoners have escaped.
How brave, but ultimately hopeless.
There's nowhere to run! Personnel, abandon ship. I repeat, abandon ship. Destroy the battle.
There's no escape. You will tell me the location of the secret base, and then I will destroy you and the resistance.
came in a little off target. Ground crews will meet you outside the wreck.
So we just got off the ride and all I can say is wow. All right guys, I'm back home now and let me just tell you, the ride is everything and more. Like I don't even know like what I was truly expecting, but it surpassed my expectations 100%. I'm so glad and like proud of myself for not watching any of like the spoiler videos or anything that showed like any snippets of the ride. Like I tried to just like scroll past on social media, especially yesterday all of the media people were let in and they were blasting social media with selfies and videos and teasers and lots of spoilers, and I'm like, no, like I want every aspect of that ride to just be a surprise, and I want to like just capture like my kids, like, you know, reactions in real time, and I try not to like ruin anything for them or for myself. So I'm glad. I'm super glad, because there's been definitely times where I like peep over, you know, to see more of like the ride, or I watch the spoilers, and then during the ride it's like, oh, I was expecting that. Oh, I was expecting that. Disney did an amazing job. Disney, like I want to give a huge shout out to the cast members, like Disney Hollywood Studios. Everybody working this morning was just amazing. Everybody, like even at 4 in the morning, the cast members were like, you know, just pepping us up. They made sure that every single person in line had their ticket attached to the app, because that was the way to get into a boarding group. So they did have a few glitches here and there, which is like to be expected with like the masses of people trying to get into boarding groups. We drove up to the line to get in around like 3:55ish, and at that point we were, you know, cars were bumper to bumper trying to get in, and I think around like a little after 4, like 4:05, the car started moving a little bit, and that's when like the single file line of cars turned into like 6 different lanes of cars. So, you know, we were spaced out, and we stayed there for a good 20 minutes. Just my family and I were just watching The Office in the car just to pass by time. We had heard that the gates were going to open at 4 a.m. They're going to start letting cars in. So we just decided to be there at that point, which was kind of nice, because I pictured us waiting outside. For Floridians, it was cold, so it was nice to be able to sit in like our heated car. And so we were let in around like 4:30ish is when cars started just moving in, and we got a spot all the way up at the front parking, and we literally just parked, turned off the car, and bolted to security, bag check, all that. And that's when everybody started lining up to get let in so that we could scan in. And we waited in that line, I want to say about an hour. I think a little bit after 5-ish is when we started, you know, moving up, scanned our magic bands. That's another thing that I really liked, was that you had to be there, and you could only join a boarding group once you were scanned in. So it did suck, like if there were large groups of people and like one person wasn't there, or a few people were missing, they would not be able to join the boarding group with their friends. Like you had to be there, you had to have scanned in. And we were having like, that's when like when we scanned in, I mean the masses were trying to get in, trying to get into all the boarding groups, and we got into boarding group 17, which is my husband's lucky number. So I think it just all worked out. We joined our boarding group, started walking up. We were kind of like, at that point everybody was just following like the line. So we were just following the crowd, and right where in front of the Chinese theater, there's like the different areas roped off. When you do rope dropping, you'll know what I mean. Like there's an area to go to Galaxy's Edge, there's an area to go to Toy Story Land, like depending on where you want to go. And we stood there for a good 20 minutes, and everybody was just kind of like, since we have our boarding group, are we supposed to kind of just be standing here? And that's, again, the cast members were going around just telling people like, hey, like once you have to be in a boarding group, like don't just think that you're, just because you're number 1 in line, that you're actually going to be let in. You had to be part of a boarding group to actually be able to get into the queue. And if you're already in a boarding group, go have fun, go enjoy the rides. Like that's something that like I really loved about this morning. It was really nice to be able to go grab breakfast, get a ride on Tower of Terror, also on Rock and Roller Coaster. And as you can see in my video, it was walk on. Like there was no real waiting or anything like that. I mean, it was really nice. It was really nice. And we also got in line to see the merchandise, and we have a little mini haul to show you. I got the Rise of the Resistance pass holder magic band, and it's basically just gray. Let me take it out. Oops. And it just says Rise of the Resistance. It has Star Wars, X-Wing, and I'm not really sure what this says, but I'm just gonna go with it. So this was the pass holder edition. I think the regular one was the same, except it was as blue. But there are only 3,000 of these made, so it was just a way to celebrate, you know, being there on opening day. I think it was really cool. I don't know if it has any like special effects. Like some of the magic bands have like different sounds and lights that pop up when you scan in. I don't know. We need to test it out, so I'm not really sure. We also got the Rise of the Resistance pins. So that's the first pin. And then we also got this one, Rise of the Resistance. That's what we got for the event merchandise, but after the ride, we had seen on social media, somebody posted that at Launch Bay Cargo, they had these limited release Mandalorian pins. And I just thought this was really cool, just limited release, and we love the show, so this was $15.99. If you saw my video, we went to go eat breakfast at Cargo Bay 7, which is right in front of the Millennium Falcon, and we just got a little bit of a platter, cinnamon roll, sausage, eggs, smoothies for a little bit over $40, so that was a nice little place to kind of just sit, stay warm, and kind of wait out getting onto our boarding group after we did some rides. Some of my biggest tips for you guys trying to get into Rise of the Resistance is just come as early as you can. As expected on opening day, there were some glitches. I mean, everybody was kind of just going with the flow, but by 9 o'clock, I mean, even I think before that, they had closed out the boarding groups. They were completely full for the rest of the day. So as we were walking out, because we walked out around 9 a.m. and we overheard a few people saying like, what? Like it's 9 a.m. like we just got here. Like how are you not letting people onto the ride? And you cannot get there at the time of opening, park opening, and expect to get on a boarding group, at least not these first few weeks of the ride. I mean, if it's like months down the road that you're watching this, then yeah, it's probably possible. I don't know how they're gonna work with boarding groups. Right now, the only way to get into a boarding group is by scanning in. So just because you have a ticket or just because you're like nearby, it doesn't mean you can get on the app and try to get in the virtual queue. That's not how that works. You have to be scanned in, you have to be there, get in a boarding group, and then go, you know, go ride some other rides, go enjoy your other fast passes, go have a coffee or lunch or whatever you want. But it's a matter of just getting in and getting scanned in. I think you can get scanned in and go off property if you want. Or you have a 2-hour window to get into that boarding group so that you can get into the queue. I'm currently filming this video. It's 9:30 at night, and they literally just called in boarding group 127. Earlier this morning, the first boarding group that was on the ride, they went through the ride, and I think halfway through it broke down. So those people got another fast pass to ride on, and you know, they were able to go on it again and experience the full thing all the way through. Now today, or after we were riding the ride, we wanted to ride it again, not really thinking that it was going to be as crazy, but obviously it was. And we got into boarding group 143. So when we stayed in there, we ended up leaving the park, but we were still in 143. There's no way we're going to be able to make it in. They just called in 127. It's not going to happen. So Disney, being amazing as always, they gave us a fast pass for tomorrow, so we can go back tomorrow and ride it again with a fast pass. And as the icing on the top, we also got 1-day park hopper tickets that expires in like 10 years. So we're able to bring some of our friends to come ride the ride too. So that's amazing. That's like Disney magic at its best. And I really, really recommend the ride, guys. It's well worth it. Definitely get here as soon as you can, check in, get in a boarding group, and then go enjoy your day. But once you do get into that queue, guys, get your cameras out, because you're gonna want to take pictures, you're gonna want to take video. There's one part of the queue that for me, I'm not even the biggest Star Wars fan out there. Like, there's definitely people that are hardcore Star Wars fans. And so I turned around as soon as the doors opened, and you're brought into this room that kind of just like takes your breath away, and it was very emotional. I wasn't expecting to get emotional at all. Like, I went in and I, you know, saw everything in front of me, and I kind of just looked around, I took a photo, and like tears just started coming down my eyes, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. I couldn't have even fathomed what was yet to come, because that was just the queue, and it was just, I don't know, it just like touched my heart. And I think just the emotions of being here opening day and experiencing it for the first time, experiencing it with my kids and letting them be part of this whole experience, like, that's what this is all about. Like, that's what the Disney lifestyle is all about, just experiencing all of this and having this, creating a new core memory. And you guys who are just hardcore Star Wars fans, you're going to love this ride. Like, it's just, well, I'm going back tomorrow. I'm taking advantage of that fast pass, so I'll definitely, you know, check out my Instagram at Magically Glam, because I'm posting on my stories, I'm posting photos, videos, all the above. If you guys do want to see more, just let me know. Let me know in a comment below, and I'll definitely do like a full ride video if you want, and answer all your questions here. But I would definitely check with Disney if they're having extra magic hours on a day. Like, ask them to see if you'll be able to get into Rise of the Resistance with those extra magic hours, because it might just be worth the extra amount of money to be able to get in there and be able to like secure your spot. One last thing, guys, final word of caution: if for any reason you guys are in a boarding group that breaks down, they give you a fast pass to, you know, come back in a little bit. If you have a fast pass for another ride and you try to click in a little bit early, even just like 5 minutes early to get onto that ride, you might accidentally use your Rise of the Resistance fast pass to get onto the other ride. So definitely don't, if you have other fast passes, make sure that you're looking at the time and you're getting in on in your time slot, because having that extra fast pass, it might be used towards a ride that you already had a fast pass for. So, and then you won't be able to get back onto Rise of the Resistance with the fast pass. So that's just a word of caution. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a blast going, even if it was 4 a.m., even though I slept for like 6 hours afterwards to catch up on my sleep, it was well worth it. I highly encourage anybody who's at Disney World, if you're here around an opening date or an opening ride, like definitely just be part of the experience. Like, come a little early, like drink your coffee, take a nap afterwards. It's definitely all about the experience, and it's like nothing else. Like, just to be able to say that you were there opening day and just having that memory, like, it's, for me, it is well worth it. I'll definitely be back in March at Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. There's so many exciting things to look forward to at Walt Disney World. I mean, we got Ratatouille coming, Guardians of the Galaxy, Tron, like so many things. Let me know in the comments below what you're most excited for at Walt Disney World. I know I'm a new Disney vlogger and I'm kind of just going by the flow, but let me know if you guys want to see anything in particular. Just let me know and I'll make a video about it, because I live and breathe Disney and I love what I do and I love sharing it with you guys. So if you like this video, go ahead and leave me a like. If you want to see more videos like this, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next video. Till the spire.